Hi everyone. Good morning. Welcome back from the break. John Byrne is my name. I'm the head of e-mobility at ESB. Over the next 15 minutes or so, I just want to give you guys a run through of what we've been doing over the last year since we last met, and pivot then onto the presentation around our 2030 strategy and what that means for the installation of infrastructure. A very warm welcome to our international guests. I'd say for our Irish guests, this may well be very familiar to you. ESB eCars we own and operate the largest public charging network in Ireland. We are part of the wider ESB group. So we're a separate standalone entity within the ESB group. We're a commercial entity in our own right. We operate across 3 jurisdictions, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the UK, or GB. And we operate under 2 separate brands. In Ireland and in Northern Ireland, that's the ESB eCar brand, while it's ESB Energy in GB. I'll be talking a little bit more detail around our strategy towards the latter half of my presentation. But the electrification of transport in particular is one of the key pillars of our strategy out to 2030. In terms of background, we launched the eCars venture here in Ireland in 2010 with 2 objectives. One, which was to provide a nationwide charging infrastructure to try and alleviate what were then genuine range anxiety fears, but also to promote the use of electric driving in Ireland, and that's still at the core of what we do. We've currently about 1,400 charge points in Ireland all over, and our investment programme is in the region of 30 million euros right across those 3 jurisdictions. Customers have always been a priority for us. We've 85,000 customers now, so about 3/4 of all the people who buy a new EV in Ireland, in the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, go on to become eCar customers. That gives them access to the largest network here in Ireland, but also a number of other sort of benefits to that. So we operate a 24/7, 365 contact centre, which we staff with dedicated technical people. So it provides a lot of comfort to our customers to know that they can get a sort of a professional service, but also that that technical input is there if they need it at the charger, etc. We're also heavily reliant on our digital technologies. Our charge point maps and our eCar Connect apps are very, very important tools for us to reach out to customers. They allow customers to plan journeys, see what's operational, see what's not, start, stop journeys, log issues, etc. Just for the next couple of minutes, I just want to dwell on what we've been doing over the last 12 months. So we have pivoted onto the delivery of high-powered charging hubs. So all of the hubs that we deliver now all have high-powered charging capability. As of today, we've 22 commissioned and in operation right across the country. So you should see at this stage a nationwide footprint of hubs that we have built. We've 4 currently a 5th actually only went into construction this week as well. Our target is the North City, so Dublin, North City and Meath between now and Christmas, and with a fair wind, those 4 will come over the line between now and the end of the year at that point. We have 10 hubs currently at various stages in sort of planning process as well. That for us is a very important stage. The planning processes are those that the local authorities run. For those of you involved, obviously, in the business, you'll know how difficult it is to acquire and actually provide a network connection as well. So what we try to do is run those processes in parallel. So for all of those 10 hubs that you'll see where we are awaiting planning permission, equally we're engaging with ESBN with regard to provision of electrical supply at that site. I want to take a minute then just to talk about some of the technological advancements that we have made or have been participant in over the last 12 months. The first is a deliberate and a distinct move to a faster charging technology. We run on an annual basis the customer survey. It's run in-house. It's a very important sort of exercise for us. It provides us a huge amount of feedback. We pour over the results for hours. I think last year we got about 11,000 pieces of individual feedback on that piece of work. There's a clear preference now from customers for more chargers and faster technology. So we've made now a deliberate move to increase the speed of our fast network from 50 to 100 kilowatts. We've taken delivery of the initial batch of all of that equipment. Some of our drivers will start to see that before Christmas on our network. I also want to talk then about the compact sub. Now, we are a part of a trial with ESBN and a number of other private entities to develop, spec and build the compact sub. We feel that's a game changer for the industry, particularly around Dublin sites and sites where space is at a premium. So the current custom and practice is to build out concrete built substation, which takes a huge amount of space on tight forecourts. This new compact sub has the ability to be condensed all of the equipment into a single car parking space, so allows for huge additional sort of design flexibility. We've worked with ESBN in particular over the last year, our manufacturers and the OEMs, to get all of that equipment into that space. The first of those compact subs will go live in the next 6 to 8 weeks, given a fair wind down in Killarney, at which point we'll be bringing on more and more subs over the coming year. All of the high power charging hubs, which we'll build next year, which are generationally kind of removed, will all use the compact sub as the primary means of connection. Northern Ireland is a place that we participated in. We started eCars in 2010. Around that same time, we participated in a partnership up in Northern Ireland to install about 180 chargers up there. We took possession of the network about 12 months ago, and in the last 10 to 12 months, we've replaced about 20% of that network over that past 12 months. We've also participated in and been successful in the Levelling Up Fund application. This is a funding application scheme run by the UK government. We've been victorious and allowed us 3.3 million in funding. And what that is intended to do is to replace all of the existing fast charging technology, to build and commission 5 new high power charging hubs, but also to practically double the number of rapid chargers in Northern Ireland. And that again is going to use that new 100 kilowatt technology that I spoke previously about. All of that work will proceed in parallel with the introduction of pricing in Northern Ireland. So as you know, it's free to charge, or certainly it's free to charge on our networks over the jurisdiction, over the 6 counties in Northern Ireland. It's intended now that the introduction of charging will be implemented over the coming months. Finally, just on our efforts over in GB, London was the first place we moved to in 2017. We have a network of about 130 rapid chargers there, so it's a rapid network only. It's expanding quite substantially next year in some of the boroughs. We have a smaller scheme then down in Coventry. The most active project that we're involved in at the moment is in Birmingham and around the East Midlands. So that's a project with Birmingham City Council, who, believe it or not, are the largest local authority in Europe, for 200 chargers, and we're just over the halfway point now in Birmingham there. What we're also really excited about is we've partnered with EVN over in GB, and we're just about to commission next month, prior to Christmas, 3 new ultra-rapid hubs. So these are the first of 300 kilowatt chargers that we certainly have installed on our network. They're Alphatronic units in Scotland, Wales and in the East Midlands. So we're very excited about that, very excited to get the learning actually out of those 300 kilowatt chargers to see is there a use for them in our other jurisdictions, namely here, obviously, and in Northern Ireland. That's just a state of the nation about where we are. I try to save some of the very short amount of time I have here just to focus on our strategy. So ESB has been working over the last 18 months towards the development of a net zero 2040 strategy. Probably, I think it's safe to say, one of the most important strategies that ESB has ever delivered. Its mission statement I've just put down to keep things simple. It's that we're driven to make a difference. We've always seen ourselves as a very core part of Irish society. We want to deliver a brighter future. We think it's very important to our organisation. both to create in the first instance, but also then to connect sustainable, reliable, and ever more so affordable energy given the times we live in. But equally, we see a role within the EAS Group to support customers and, importantly, the communities that those customers are in as they transition to net zero. So we took this as a sort of a start of our strategy, as in the e-cars strategy. And really where I want to spend the remainder of my presentation is talking about what we're going to be doing and the implications for infrastructure out to 2030. You'll see a lot of resonance really between our mission statement and that of the groups. So what we want to do is to support our customers, the communities that they live in the transition to EVs. We want to provide the most reliable, the most competitively priced and customer-focused network that we can. That's across all of our jurisdictions, but certainly in Ireland and Northern Ireland. In terms of a granular deliverability and around infrastructure, what that means now is our ambition is to deliver about 3,000 chargers right out to 2030. So that in effect is in the region of 300 chargers per annum across the 3 jurisdictions, with a focus purely on high-power charging and increasing the speed of the network overall. I spoke earlier about the customer survey that we've done and do every year. There is an undeniable requirement from our customers to install more chargers and to make the existing sort of network faster. We've listened to that, and that's at the core of the strategy and what we intend to do. We have a lot of single charger sites around the country. They've been a legacy back over a decade. They've served the country well, but with the numbers increasing from around 50,000, which is what we have now, EFA spoke to 175,000 by 2025. There's a lot of single points of failure on the system, which we're moving to eliminate if we can, but certainly reduce into multi-charger sites. 2023, you will see, and beyond, you will see a huge proliferation of our multi-charger sites right throughout the country. This point here is a question that I'm asked frequently, so I said I would address it here today, and it's around the CCS sort of CHAdeMO split. We have now either ordered, taken delivery of, or have in manufacture all of the equipment, electrical equipment we need, the chargers, etc. we need to deliver out on the 30 or so hubs we need to build out over the next 2 years. All of those hubs will have CHAdeMO capability. However, after that, so after 2024, by the end of 2024, we are not going to be building any future CHAdeMO-enabled hubs. That's not to say we're not going to continue to support the CHAdeMO from the network that we have. We obviously will continue to do that for a considerable period of time. But we have seen, and we see it in our surveys, we see it with our own eyes, all of the queuing, the delays are all now starting to emerge on the CCS side. There's a clear preference for CCS, and we've made a decision now to slowly but deliberately ramp away from CHAdeMO. We've been a digital company since we set up. So everything we do is digital. All of our payments are digital. All of our marketing campaigns, from the very sort of simple ones, the customer documentation, etc., right up to our sort of state-of-the-art geo-targeted marketing campaigns have all been done digitally. We're known for that. It's something we want to keep. And then on network reliability, so we feel that 99% will, in time, we see it certainly over in GB, become the de facto industry standard. We want to get out ahead of that. So our strategy will call for a 99% reliability rate right across all of our networks, whether that be the standard, the fast, or the high-powered charging network. Allied to that, the sort of reduction in single points of failure, more modern equipment. We're at a 99% average here in Ireland and in GB, and we're working to get that up to those kind of levels in Northern Ireland over the coming 6 to 12 months. And finally, the piece that we've seen go from a consideration to arguably one of the most important pieces is the provision of a convenient but also a safe charging experience for all users, regardless of who they are. We have 50,000 vehicles on the road. We have seen a move away from the early adopters to mass market adoption. Everyone in this room is probably seeing that at this point. We now, at all stages in our process, whether it's site acquisition and even before that, prospecting, site acquisition, design, at all points in that process, we now design in amenity, convenience, but also safety into all of the work that we do, whether that be extra CCTV, lighting, proximity to services, etc. We feel that this is a very, very important piece of work that is understandably required by all of the people involved, all of the people who go on to buy electric vehicles, and it's something we want to play a key part in. I'm sorry, but I have a 15-minute slot, so it's very, very short indeed. I want to thank you all very, very much, and I'll pass you back over to Derek. Thank you.